welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is well. I hope you've had some crafty fun. What have you been up to this week? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing what everybody's been up to. I love to know what everyone's making. Maybe your own Christmas, maybe your own birthdays. But me, I'm working away in the background. I am making some more tutorials for you, including another advent calendar that I'm really proud of, so I hope you like it. Plus, I've got some upcoming Christmas ornaments that I have designed so that you've got a template or free download so that you can create them yourselves, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But for today's tutorial, we're going to create a shutter card. Now, for those that don't know, a shutter card is simply a gatefold style card that when you open it, you get this peekaboo shutter effect. Now, it's simple once you know what you're doing, I say, but it only takes a couple of extra wee steps and then it's really simple and you can change it up. It could be any size. Here in the UK mostly we make 6x6 cards or square cards, but once you know what you're doing you can tweak it to suit. I'll also add some hints and tips as we go along, plus I will add extra sizes below, including the ones for this card, in the comments so that you know how to make it, so you can change it up for whatever size card that you want. So you'll see those. For today though, I used some of my stash. So for the flower stamp, I used the AliExpress Life is Good stamp set with the matching die. I also used a very old AVL sentiment stamp for the happy birthday. The inside one, You Are Special in Any Way, comes from the stamp set, so I didn't need to add extra. I coloured it with my Copics. If you really want to know the colours, I'll add them in the comments just in case anybody wants to know. And the papers I used were the same ones from the other week, which is the Moonlight Magic ones, and I just think these are stunning. And I think they suit this time of year. We're going into autumn, even though it's absolutely roasting here in Scotland, but they are just stunning and perfect. I mean, look at that one, that's stunning. Floral themed, absolute gorgeous. Before we get started, can I just ask that if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if not, if you're not a follower yet, please give me a follow. It really helps my channel. I know I moan about it every week, but it really does. So let's get started anyway with the tutorial and have some fun. I've cut out the basic parts that we're going to need. So before I tell you that, these are the pattern papers I'm going to be using. It's a Craft Consortium Candy Christmas, and the ones I have used are somewhere. These ones here. The black background one of the similar to this side. I've already cut them, but we'll get on to that in a minute. First of all, what you're going to need for the basic card, you're going to need a 12x6 piece of card to make your card base so that you can make your folds and create the gatefold card. So you're scoring at 3 and 9 to create this. You're also going to need 2 pieces at 5x5 and also 1 piece at 6x4.5. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this at 3 and 9. Scoreboard. And also, on the 5x5 pieces, you're going to score on one side at half an inch. Oh, not in, at half an inch. That's on one side. Now, next what you're going to do is take your 5x5 pieces. I'll just get my ruler. 2 seconds. So you'll need a ruler and a pencil. I mean, if you've got a scoreboard and a trimmer that does it, you could do that instead. First of all, what you're going to do is you're going to find the centre from your score line to your outer line, which will be 2 1/4. So all I'm going to do is mark at 2 1/4, and then you're going to mark in halfway, which would be 2 1/2 once you've turned it. And draw a little line. You've got your centre point. Then from that centre point, you're going to come out so. So you're creating a sort of V, or an upside down V. What you're going to do is cut this bit out, and then you're going to repeat on this bit. So I will just get my knife and I'll cut that out. And there we go. And like I said, you're going to repeat that on that piece. You don't need to see me do that, so I will quickly do that and then I'll come back. So I cut both out. I've also folded my fold over just while I was doing that, and I've got my layers all cut out. So what you're going to need, if you're doing a double layer like I have, you need your pattern paper in a contrast colour, but if not, you just go with the pattern, the contrast colour sizes for your layers, or you can have a wider border if you go for the pattern layer. First of all, for the red layer, what I've cut is 5 3/4 square, and for the pattern layer it's 5 1/2, and they will sit in the centre of the card. Then I've also cut my layers for the 2 V-shaped pieces, and I have 2 at 4 1/4 by 4 3/4, then another 2 at 4 by 4 1/2. I'll have them posted up the top so you can see them. For my middle piece, I have a piece at 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, and then I have 5 1/2 by 4. And lastly, I have 4 panel pieces, because these will go inside and on the outside. You have your larger layer at 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Then the pattern layers are 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. You should tell I was reading that there so I didn't get confused. So what we're going to do, first of all, what you have to do is do your V's again. So you're going to do what you did, cut in your V's. You might find that once you've cut it in, that it seems like you don't have equal space. So what I like to do then is just trim a wee teeny bit off, maybe even like 1/8 of an inch again, and that'll give you the perfect size. And just do that for your 4 layers. You don't need to see me do again, it's the exact same as what we did. Finding the middle from that side and finding the middle from the top, and then trimming. That's all we need to do. Or if you want, what you could do is you could put it in the middle, come up a good, see, I've come up about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, and in the middle, use a pencil at the back and then trim that off, and then you would just need to come down a bit and it would sit perfectly in the middle. You could do that for all your layers, whatever's easiest for yourself. Then I'll go and do that, and then we can get started on the next part. Off camera, I've cut the layers that we needed. As you can see, they fit on in between the little border. Remember, if you've got a pattern paper a bit like mine, you want to cut in the opposite direction so that you're not ending up with 2 this way, or you would end up having one of your pattern papers upside down. So that's that part. Next, what I'm going to do is quickly add a edge of green round all my papers, just to bring them together. Then I'm going to stick them together and put them onto the different pieces. So I'll just do that. This green, I'm using one of my Copics. It's YG45. So I've made up the layers. As you can see, I added plenty glue behind this one. I did that also on the pattern layer when I stuck them together, because you're going to die cut into this layer, so you want to make sure everything stays down. Also, I haven't added my front 2 panels because I'm going to add some ribbon next. I noticed on the other card I made, 2 seconds, I'll show you, that if you're looking at it, it's sort of puffed up because I added some gems inside, well, some pearls. So I want it to stay closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some ribbon around it. I just think it will keep it closed, so I'm going to find some ribbon and then I'll be back. So I've got this satin ribbon that I got from good old Hobbycraft, and what I'm going to do is on this layer, oops, twist it on the back, I want it to be stuck on this side, so I will bring enough over, glue down one layer here, and put that one actually, and then I will bring it up and stick down the next layer like that, so that it ties over the front on the right side. I will just trim enough. Where it's in the middle. But as it won't be seen, I'm just going to use wet glue so it doesn't matter. If it was going to be seen, I would have used some double-sided tape, but as it's just going to be glue, hidden, sorry, the glue works fine. And then I'll add the other side. And when you decorate your front, this will sit under whatever you add, whether it be your die cups or anything, and then you can trim the ribbon. It will just tie to the side of whatever you've got added on. Like so. You can add a wee bit of tape to the back and it will hold it in place. But next, so tip 1. For this middle panel, where you have your window, you want it to be the same height as your card. No matter what size of card, you want it to be the same height, and you want to make sure you've got a space. Now on mine, I have just about 3/4 of an inch at either side. It's just, you want it to be bigger than your 1/2 inch. So 3/4 is about right. You're going to fold these back anyway. So no matter what height or size your gatefold card is, as long as you've got your middle panel the same height as the card with equal space, bigger than your score line or your V mechanism. Now your V mechanism, I've got that, so my card is 6x6, this is 5x5. You could have it smaller, but as long as it is no bigger than 3/4 of the card, the mechanism will work. Because when you close your card, it's going to move slightly. So you want to make sure you've still got a space here. You don't want it coming away over and then the card won't close. Plus, if you've got too wide a piece, you're not going to see through the window. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I'll write some sizes below so you know just what I'm meaning. So next what we're going to do is we're going to add in more V pieces. So what you're going to do, you're going to fold your score lines, and we're going to have these flush against the card. You want to make sure they're right in the centre. Move this one out of the way and show you. So you're going to make sure they're flush right up against, like so. As equal space at the top and bottom as you can get. You're going to add glue on that little fold score line you made. That's your wee glue tab. And you're going to close over this side right onto the glue. Make sure it takes hold. And then open it up, fold it back. And this, as you can see, is how the mechanism works. So if you had your V too big, you would see that it would start to go away over. So we're just going to repeat that on the other side. Line it up. Make sure it's equal on there, lined up flush against your fold. Add on your glue. And that's your basic shutter. You see, if you look close, it just is going to close and no more. You've got maybe like a wee teeny square, but you won't see that because you'll have your die cut on the front. So next, what we're going to do, I'm going to stick this ribbon because it'll annoy me otherwise. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Right. Next, depending what you're going to put through your window, depends what you do next. So I want to have a sentiment and maybe a stamped image coloured, so I'm going to use some stamping card. If you're just having an image, a sentiment, sorry, you could use any card you want, or even a topper if you've got one. So what I'm going to use is some of my stamping cards. I've got some scraps here. What I will do is I'm going to sit it in behind. I know this bit of card's too big, but I'm going to sit it behind like so. I'm going to bring these closed, making sure my card is flat on the surface, and I'm going to draw the space. And this tells me where I want to add my sentiment or my image or anything else I want to add. This is the space I've got to work with, so I'm going to trim that. And this is what I've got to work with. So next I'm going to go and get some stamps and bits and bobs that I want to add onto this card, and then I will show you how I decorate this little space. I've dug out some stamps from my stash. I've got my Lawn Fawn Ugly and Bright, the wee critters with the ugly sweaters. I just thought they would be so cute. And also my Merry Messages. It's just a mixed lot of sentiments for Christmas, so I'm going to use them. First of all, what I'm going to do is I've popped this in my stamping platform. For those who have not followed me from the beginning, yes, I've got a bit of flow in my stamping platform because I dropped it and it doesn't get enough pressure, so plus it's good for me to have that extra height. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to decide which sentiment I want. I'm thinking the Merry and Bright one might be quite nice. I'm going to pop that right in the middle. Sorry if my head comes in, I just want to make sure I've got it in the middle. Like so. And then with my little critters, I am going to have them one peeking from the bottom. I think would be quite cute. What do we think? Does that look cute? Yeah. And maybe have the bear. And then from the top. Actually, I think I'll use just the reindeer and I'll have him coming in from the top as well. So I'll stamp this first. And then wipe off. The other one coming from the side. So. There we go. So also, I'm not really sure what I want to do yet on the front. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll just use the little reindeers and have 3 no matter what I decide on. So I've got another piece of stamping card and I'm going to stamp 3 of them with a mix of the hats and the jumpers. Obviously we need Santa. And obviously the Santa jumper. And maybe the tree. Like that. stamp these as well. If you wanted, you could do some stamping with some masking, and so you don't have to cut these out and then place them on. You could stamp the jumpers first, then mask with some, whether you've got masking paper or post-it notes, and then put the wee character on top. Or if it's just easier to stamp, then cut out and glue on top. Whatever's easiest. There we are. So I'll just tidy up and then we can move on to the next step. I've dug out some colours that I'm going to use, and I'm sorry if the light flickers on this. I've zoomed you in so it'll start flickering a wee bit. But I've got my colours and I'm going to just do some quick colouring, so I will try and remember to post colours so that you know what I'm using. But I'm using my Copics, and you can use whatever you like to do your colouring. And if you hear any noises, it's the dog sitting in the hall listening to what's happening. You don't have to colour all the way down on these because you won't see them. Just get one there, okay? So I'll move on to the next ones, and I'm just going to use the same colourways as I did. There we have it. I mean, it's not perfect. I went really fast and I need to blend out the bellies. Not that you're going to see them because the jumper will cover them. And I'm not quite happy with the colours of the jumpers, but it'll be fine for the card. So I will, off camera, I'm going to fussy cut these because you don't need to see me do that, and I'll tidy up. So I have fussy cut the wee characters. See, off camera I have coloured the antlers a darker colour. It's E49. See, I just makes them stand out a bit more. Also, I changed the jumper to the green. I thought the Santa stood out more. Went over to a teeny wee bobble, but I'll add some white paint pens to that. So that's them done. So next what we're going to do, we're going to stick this into the card. And the easy way to do that, I'm going to have to rub that out first. Sorry, I've got that bit. We're going to do it. Again, we're going to just line up. Make sure it's about right. And then I'll just add some glue to the back. And I'm going to stick it directly down in my card. Right. Leave it. That looks about right. Perfect. And that's that part done. You don't need to, you can rub out these pencil lines if you want, but you won't see them. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to die cut. I'll set these to the side because we don't need them. We're going to die cut out our middle panel. So I'm just going to use some circle dies, and I want to make sure that it's the same. So that's my window, and then I'm going to, because I'm adding a little frame, I want to have a die bigger. Maybe 2 sizes bigger will be best. Yeah, that'll look good. First of all, what I'm going to do is die cut my window, so I'm going to just eyeball it. I'm not going to make it perfect. It looks about in the middle. Then I'll take some washi tape and I will just die cut this out. Put these to the side. Now, as you all know, my machine is over here. I'm just going to cut these out. There we go. You see, when you put this in your card, like so, gives you your window. So what I'm going to do now is cut my frame. I think I will do it from red just to match the card. So I'll put some red here. I'm going to have to put it the same size as the large die. Then what I'll do is I will line these 2 dies up as best I can, and then use some fresh washi tape. Down here. Sorry about that. Top tip: if your washi tape is too sticky, stick it on your hand once or twice and it will help remove the stickiness. You could do it on your clothing if your skin is a bit oily, so you don't get any oils on your card making bits, any of your papers or anything. I've went a bit squint, but it won't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on my card, on this layer. Should have edged this with the green like I'd done all the other bits, so I will do that quickly. I just remembered. What we want to do next is bring my card in again. Keep saying that, don't I? What we want to do next. Apologies. Then I'm going to lay this in here. You're going to need some foam pads. Now you want either to use one single layer, depending how thick your card is, or 2 so it comes up a little bit. I am going to use 2 because I found on the other card it was just a little tight when I was moving it in and out. And also, you only want a very thin layer. So I'm going to use my foam pads. I'm going to stick 2 together. To get my double layer. Then I'm going to cut thin slithers. See, nice thin to focus. Well, I need 1 for each corner, and then I'll put a little bit in the middle. Flip this over. I'm going to pop them down in the corners. And then the little half in the middle. And repeat on the top. And just test that there's still room between the spaces, and then this is the little hard bit. You just want to make sure you line it up in the middle. Now if my head comes in, I do apologise. I just want to make sure I'm in the middle. And I'm flush with the bottom. And then the top. And there we go. And you can see it works. So that's your basic shutter card made. And like I said, if it makes sense, I apologise if it doesn't. When you make your card whatever size, as long as your inner panel, this piece, has a space either side that's bigger than your fold line on this side, it should work as long as they're the same height. And also your V mechanisms need to just be bigger than halfway. You don't want them coming any further so that they touch the fold lines. You want them so that they are the perfect size. So next, all we've got to do is decorate the front. So if I tie them in ribbon, this will help me decide what I'm going to do. So I'm not sure whether I want to have the die cut similar to that. With the 3 little characters in the middle. What do you think? Does that look? I think if we go the next size up, is that one too big? Yeah, so we want the in-between size. That and that. That is the same size as that one. So what we're going to do is die cut this one. Now you want, the next step is to decide whether you want to have it on pattern paper, like so. I think that might become too busy if we use that. Sorry, I moved them on here. So I'm going to just use white. Here, what's on that? You could use a different side of the pattern paper if you realise it's like a hillside. That might be quite nice. With the little characters standing in the snow. I might do that. Otherwise the paper's just going to go to waste anyway. Yep, I'm going to do that. But you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to add these two together, like so. Again, I'll add the green. And I will add more characters. I'm going to use foam pads, but I'm just going to use little thin ones. These just, I think they're just 1 or 2 mil, just to give a little bit of height. nothing too much. There we go. Next, I'm just going to decide who's wearing what. And all I'm going to do now is add a few wee gems, and that's my card all finished. Maybe a sentiment to the front. So I'll go and do that. You don't need to see me add some gems. I'll do that off camera and then we'll come back and see the finished card. That's the wee card all finished now. So you can see I added some of these green gems to all the corners. I also added some wee gems to their noses. I just thought it made them stand out more. And the sentiment I used is from the set, the Ugly Sweaters one. I just thought it brought it all together. The wee gems that I used in this card are just a mix set that I bought off of Amazon. It's nothing fancy. Just grabbed them from my stash, and the card's all set. You can see, and I've added more of those gems to the inside. I glued the ribbon down so that it wouldn't get in the way a wee bit. You could add some more of these wee stamped images to the sides or anything you want, but I think the papers are busy enough when it brings the card together. You can see the wee gems around the edges and it works perfect. There we go. If I bring the other one in, you can see the difference. So even though it's the exact same card with different papers, a different theme, it's great. You could make this for any occasions, a special card for a special someone, whether it be a birthday, Christmas, wedding, baby, it would work great. I mean, it's just fab. Something a bit different for you. Remember, if there's anything you really would like to see me do, leave a comment below and I'll try doing it for you. Also, please, I know I go on and on, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you're not a follower, please follow. Select the bell button and you'll get notifications when my next videos come out. But until next time, bye!